Hello, BookTube. I've got a little mail haul for you today on a very bright, sunny, cheerful Sunday. Happy St. Patrick's Day to those who celebrate. I'm still down in the dumps. I'm still moping around the place, staring out windows because I had a guest for a week. And I love having guests, and I hate it when they go. I know that sounds so juvenile. For someone who's 28 years old, you'd think I'd have learned this by now. But I love it when they're here, and I hate it when they go, especially when we had so much fun, as my guest, David Murphy, and I had. We had so much fun. Had so many adventures. My little dog, Frida, has now traveled more than some of you have. And I was just moping around, and of course, if any of you have ever got in this kind of thing, this is pretty much the only thing that can do it to me. If you've ever been in this kind of a mind frame, you know it feeds on itself. It doesn't get better, it just feeds on itself. Usually it does. And I was doing the same thing today. I've been reading an enormous amount. I've been writing an enormous amount. And not rejoining BookTube, not rejoining the conversations with my imaginary BookTube friends in this post-7,000 video landscape. And who knows how long that would have gone on, but I got a brief, one might even say curt message from a certain small New England state. And of course that message was warm and compassionate. Naturally, it was gentle, prompting me to get back to making videos. So I thought I'd give it a try. I'll make a couple of videos today and see if I can maybe jolly myself back into the mind frame. I can't have guests here every day, after all, much though I'd like it. So we'll look at some mail. That always perks things up, right? That's how we cross the Terminator into 7,000 video territory. Let's see what we have here. From mail. So the first post 7,000 video mail haul starts with a package that needs to be crowbarred open. Is that an omen? I don't know, Bean. Do we believe in omens? Oh, baby. What have we got here? Okay, this is from the folks at Europa Editions. This is called The Throne. I don't have anything to show you. It's just a blank book. It's by Franco Bernini, and it's translated from the Italian by Una Stransky. So what is this? There's no point in me showing you the cover. The cover might not be finished yet. So this comes out in June. This summer, Italian novelist Franco Bernini gives us a meticulously researched and brilliantly told historical novel. It is the first of the Machiavelli trilogy, which recounts the enigmatic life of Niccolo Machiavelli, revealing the complex man behind the infamous political strategist. Good Lord. Good Lord. I vaguely remember the publicist talking about this. There's absolutely nothing enigmatic about Machiavelli's life. Nothing whatsoever. We practically know every time he had a bowel movement. The thing that's enigmatic is the things that have been done with his book, Il Principe. The things that have been done with that book are enigmatic. He's not at all. He would have been mystified by his posthumous reputation. Let's see here. Where does this go on? October 1502. Oh, I remember it well. Deb and I had been happily married until our marriage was ripped apart by a certain person who shall be nameless. Oh no, he's not nameless. He's in the next line. As Cesare Borgia. As Cesare Borgia set out to invade the Florentine Republic, Niccolo Machiavelli is sent to spy on him and to glean details of his nefarious plan. But when Borgia asks Machiavelli to write his life story, their bond gains complexity and nuance. Ultimately, they both aspire to everlasting fame, and to achieve it, they need each other. For the one sword can only rule in eternity via the pen of the other. Okay. Let's see here. Set against the backdrop of the Renaissance, rife with political intrigue and cultural flourishing, Bernini's rich, imagined novel masterfully captures a society teetering on the brink of change and revolution, as one man takes his chances at greatness, navigating the treacherous corridors of power with guile and charisma. Which one is it? Which one of the two is that supposed to be? This book is a captivating reflection on ambition, morality, and the pursuit of power and influence. The author reveals one of the most impactful and controversial minds in political history. The word you're looking for is important, okay? And asks to what lengths one can justifiably go to achieve greatness. Okay, fantastic. Shall we find out about the author? Franco Bernini's screenplay for The Gray Zone. Okay, I think there are many movies called that, but if it's The Gray Zone that's about the Holocaust, it's unbelievably good. The Gray Zone, there's a movie about the Holocaust called The Gray Zone. If you're looking it up on IMDb, you get a lot of titles, I'm sure. There are a lot of things called that. This one has Harvey Keitel in it. Harvey Keitel and Steve Buscemi. And it's incredible. It's not a pleasant movie at all. Oh my God, it will ruin your evening. I wonder if that's the screenplay that this guy wrote for. He teaches screenwriting at the Italian National Film School. And this is the first time any of his work has ever appeared in English. Okay, right. Well, you don't have to sell it to me. A historical novel about Niccolo Machiavelli. That doesn't happen often, to put it mildly. Great. All right, we're off to a fine start here. I had to batter my way in, but we're off to a fine start. We've only got a couple more packages. We'll take it slow. I will try to jolly myself back to non-guest living. I'll just try to do that. We'll try to do it anyway. It was coming. This was coming anyway. I always do this to myself. I always get this way. Especially when we have so much fun. 115 books. Huge amounts of travel on the road. Anyway, let's see. Oh, all right. This is the finished copy. I think this is a double. I'm looking across the room at the shelf that would ordinarily contain my workbooks, at finished copies and advanced copies, but it's not in the same place. One of the parts of the grand book rearrangement that David and I did was to move my workbooks. That's going to take some getting used to. I think we may have already seen a finished copy of this, though. This comes out in early April. This is Ryan Chapman's book, The Audacity. A rare resurgence of an ugly American cover. We haven't seen many of those. Let's see here. In a time when one billionaire-turned-felon has been imprisoned for defrauding investors in her unicorn biotech startup, one billionaire-turned-president continues his next election bid amidst legal battles for numerous criminal charges, and a billionaire-turned-social media mogul offered $1 billion to rename a globally recognized brand with a phallic joke. Reality, indeed, feels stranger than fiction. To make sense of this world, where the antics of the world's wealthy elite often veer into the outrageous, Ryan Chapman offers an amusing take on the audacious spirit of the mega-wealthy in his upcoming novel, The Audacity. Okay. All right. The billionaire-turned-president was never a billionaire. Never. Not now, not ever. And he's continuing his next election bid amidst legal battles, but he has already been legally found guilty of insurrection to overthrow the government, and he has already been legally adjudicated as a rapist. He has been legally found guilty of being a fraud on multiple occasions. It's not like his legal fate is somehow up in the air. He is a gigantic piece of crap. From a legal standpoint, from a personal standpoint, from a moral standpoint. It's not like all that's up in the air and we need to somehow wait for a verdict down the line. That verdict's never going to come. But courts have already made their findings. And the billionaire turned social media mogul, what kind of a mogul is that? The rebranding that this pub sheet is talking about has cost him, $70 billion and counting? It's basically him and three guys at the site now that nobody calls by the name that he renamed it. No one calls it by that. People make a point of pride of not calling it that. He is one of the worst businessmen in the history of the world, and only got to be a billionaire because he sucked up to the U.S. government, to the weapons industry. He has no first idea how to run a company. Neither one of those two alleged billionaires do. Neither one of them. The first one was never a billionaire. Never even close. And the second one only became a billionaire because he became a lapdog of DARPA. Otherwise, he wouldn't be. He has no business acumen. But anyway, maybe you're going to satirize that, right? Maybe Ryan Chapman is going to satirize that. Widely acclaimed for his debut novel, Riots I Have Known. I did not acclaim him for that. Ryan Chapman has a proven talent for capturing the world's absurdism, embracing satire. If Ryan Chapman is young, I don't know. We'll find out. This is a finished copy. We'll have a picture of him. If he's young, then I'll bet you a Boston cream pie that he has not the slightest idea what satire even is. What it even is. I bet he thinks cracking stoner jokes on the couch is satire. I bet he doesn't know that it even has a serious side. But I could be wrong. We'll find out. To make sense... wait. As he turns his attention to the schemes and sociopathic tendency of the obscenely wealthy, Chapman's sophomore novel glimmers with mordant wit and refreshingly earned laughs. A darkly enjoyable riches to rags tragicomedy, this book is perfect for fans of Succession and The Dropout. Okay, Ryan Chapman is young. He is a Sri Lankan American writer originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and currently based in Kingston, New York. You are not a Sri Lankan American writer. You're an American writer. If you're born in Minneapolis and you live in New York, anyway, whatever. That's going to help you when award season comes. Good luck to you. He's won lots of accolades, and his work has appeared in The New Yorker, GQ, McSweeney's, Book Forum, Bomb, Guernica, and The Believer. No Sri Lankan press? No? No? When you stub your toe late at night? What language do you curse in? Well, it doesn't matter. It's so ridiculous. But anyway, it doesn't matter. This is early April, and it does sound entertaining. I should give you a picture of our Sri Lankan author. There he is, right there. Sure. I have a copy. I'm going to find out. I'll have to find out where the advanced copy of this thing is, because David and I were heaving around books here by the armload at the end there. We should have made it a week-long thing, a week-long project that would have engulfed all of my books, not just this room. But we didn't. We had lots of other stuff to do. So I don't even know. I think those shelves are organized chronologically. I'm pretty sure I remember doing that. Which would mean that I should be able to find the April books fairly easily. We shall see. I'm still getting used to it. Oh, the baby. The baby has to get used to no guest to scream at. No guest to... If you play with Frida every once in a while, she will feel like playing. She'll let you know if she feels like playing. It's not your choice. It's hers. But every once in a while, she will let you know that she feels like playing. And then it's a question of you waving around your hands so that she can lunge at them. And it's all playful on her part. It doesn't take long to realize that she learned how to do that with somebody who doesn't have a sense of touch. Because she can put some game in that play. And that's going to be a little tender for normal people's fingers. All right, let's see what this last one is. I won't say that this was a coerced mail haul. Not at all. These were gentle, loving words from that tiny New England state. Okay. All right, this is from the great folks at W.W. Norton. This comes out in July. Do I have a sheet for you? Yes, I do. Okay. This is by Corey Brettschneider, and it is called The Presidents and the People. 5 leaders who threatened democracy and the citizens who fought to defend it. I want to block the beans. Okay. Imagine an American president who imprisoned critics, spread a culture of white supremacy, and tried to upend the law so he could commit crimes with impunity. You may think this narrative speaks to only the present, but in fact history shows that American presidents have often pushed the boundaries established for them by the Constitution. In this book, written by a constitutional law and political science professor, readers are provided with a thoroughly researched account of assaults on democracy by 5 past American presidents: John Adams, James Buchanan, Andrew Johnson, Woodrow Wilson, and Richard Nixon. These presidents illuminated the tripwires that can erode or even destroy our democracy. But the author shows that these presidents didn't have the last word. This is the inspirational history of the people who pushed back. Over the decades, citizen movements have brought the United States back from the precipice by appealing to a democratic understanding of the Constitution and pressuring subsequent reform-minded presidents to realize the promise of we the people. This is a book about citizens, Frederick Douglass, Ida B. Wells, Daniel Ellsberg, and more, who fought back against presidential abuse of power. Their examples give us hope about the possibilities of restoring a fragile democracy. I'm going to try hard not to lapse into simple, screamed obscenities. I'm going to try hard not to do that. This comes out in early July. It comes out 2 days before Independence Day in this country. And it is a 300-page example of whataboutism. It's a 300-page example of false equivalence. What did John Adams do when his term of office was over? What did Richard goddamn Nixon do when his term of office was over? When he resigned, what did he do? He went away. What did all of those presidents do when their term of office was over? They left. They left office. Restoring our fragile democracy was never an issue with any of them. Our fragile democracy was not in danger with any of those figures. None of them launched an insurrection to overthrow the government. None of them have since said that they would eradicate the Constitution, that they want to be a dictator. None of them are right now ever planned to would do what one is doing right now, which is flooding one entire political party with apparatchiks designed, intended to overthrow the government and install it with loyalists when the horrible day comes. When enough of your red-hatted followers are intimidating voters outside their voting precincts. Yeah, who'd you vote for? It's a secret election now. Next time it won't be. But it is now. But I can still photograph your license plate. You can still have people at your kid's school. Really think it's worth it? Judges threatened. DAs threatened. And threatened by who? None of the people involved here promised the police in every single city and town, including yours, indemnity from any crimes they commit in the name of the leader. Only one person has done that. This is false equivalence, a whole gigantic book of false equivalence. This is only written because of the present danger to the United States, and the present danger to the United States is utterly unprecedented. Nothing has ever come close. The 5 men here never came close. They weren't even thinking about it. Richard Nixon, in his worst drunken day, was never thinking about overturning the United States government. So this author and I are going to have problems. And he is going to have a very narrow path to thread in order to claw his way back from what is, after all, we should all remember, me most of all, just the pub sheet. This is not the book. He is a professor at Brown. He teaches law and constitutional law and politics. Okay, all right. Do I want to know the beginning? You're going to talk about John Adams, aren't you? You are. You're going to talk about John Adams. The presidential acts described in the previous 3 paragraphs bear a striking similarity to events during Donald Trump's presidency. Yet these acts were not committed by one president, but 5. Well before Trump, these leaders posed great threats to democracy. Okay, well, we'll see. It's just the pub sheet. It's not the book. So, as soon as I get a finished copy of this, it'll be probably late June. It will be getting to me in late June. In other words, the finished copy of this book about the 5 earlier presidents who threatened American democracy will be getting to me in the last free June this country ever experiences, and the last June in which I will be both unprisoned and alive. But yeah, they're the same. Right. Okay. All right, well, that sure dusted off the lethargy, didn't it? Okay, I'm not going to get along with this book, but maybe you will. Certainly you people out there who like your presidential studies, you're not going to want to miss this. It's by a guy who knows the subject in and out. He seems from the pub sheet to be toting to be left alive when Trump retakes power, as opposed to being put to death. Did that happen with Woodrow Wilson? You have to remind me. Did Woodrow Wilson put political enemies to death? Did he threaten to? No, he did not. No, he did not. John Adams didn't like the uppityness of the press. What did he do when his term ended? What did he do when his term ended? Anyway, those of you who like presidential studies of any kind, I know a lot of you who do, you're going to want to mark this. I mean, we can all agree, right, that even if we disagree with the book, it still might be worth reading. This might be really good, even if I disagree with every word of it. It might be. I will report back. Then we have a novel about the super rich. Well, this mail haul was just designed to irritate me, maybe to get me back in the saddle. The audacity, and finally, I mean, I don't have anything to show you here. It's just the cover of the book. But The Throne by Franco Bernini, the first book in a trilogy about Machiavelli and Cesare Borgia. And I don't know. I'll have to look up and see whether or not maybe the other two volumes. Do any of you know? Any of you in Italy? Do you know if the other two volumes exist already? This came out in what? Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, it's giving me the original title, but not the original pub date. It's saying 2024 pub date, copyright for Europa Editions. I'm assuming that this was earlier, that it was written earlier than that. This wasn't written this year, was it? The translation is copyright 2024, but I don't have an original publication date for the book. Well, anyway, that's our that's our mail for today. 3 books. A little bit of a rough landing, but it's a return to form, I hope. We'll see. We'll see what tomorrow's mail brings. I might do another video just to recover from this one, but either way, I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.